Hello, 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 or as I like to say, hola, hola, hola. It's your boy, Big Rob, back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto. No David today, but you got Big Rob with some big news coming out today. Well, Bitcoin's been holding that 60K support. Well, for the most part, we did dip down to 58,000 briefly yesterday, but bounced right back. We got a lot of Bitcoin news coming out today. A lot of nation states, a lot of governments playing around with crypto. Also, we have a lot coming out of Solana Camp. If you're a fan of Solana, there is so much going on. It's crazy. Also, we might have a rare appearance from Donald Trump at a major Bitcoin conference. I'm sure you can probably figure out which one that is, but will Donald Trump show up? Also, we got Magic Internet Money joining us here shortly to break down the charts and give us a little bit of a TA perspective on what's going on to quail the fears, because I have a feeling that this is a short-term drop, and I think that we might get some consensus from Magic. So if you're a little worried, what are our price trajectories? Where are we going? And also, we do what we do best here. We look at discounted altcoins and we tell you which ones we're the most bullish on and which ones are looking like a straight steal and a deal. We're going to get into all of that on the backside of this really amazing infographic that shows us our logo. That's a credit graphic. It's your favorite duo team, Big Rob.
Ooh, I like that.
Big Rock and Rocco.
Yeah, definitely Dave's gonna love it.
Yeah, see you got the rose color underneath.
I got the
dark blue on top. Yeah,
inverted like yesterday was red out and blue in.
You know, I feel like you should start coaching David on dress attire. And
I tried with the barbecue clothes. It was the last clothes, and I don't think.
Did you say barbecue clothes? Just in.
I tried with the barbecue.
Baby Ray's is sponsoring David's outfits.
I tried to make him go to marinara, but it didn't work out. So barbecue is to go place, and I don't think they're gonna convince him to dress differently. So I'll try my best. I'm trying.
All right.
An Italian designer in the house, but I guess, you know. Yeah.
So shortly after we were live yesterday, you know, we saw Bitcoin go from 64,000, dropped all the way down to 60,000. And then shortly after we were live, we did see a dump down to 58,000. Looked like some liquidations on the Bitcoin leverage positions. And so short-lived, will 60K hold? I'm no chart expert. We all know this. I'm a big fan of this traffic light, mentality when it comes to trading. Green good, red bad. So with that said, I do think that there's no more red under 60K. And I'm going to tell you why. I think that a lot nation states have a lot to play into this. But I want to jump right into the big discussion here. And that's, well, Bitcoin's price. So currently 61,000. So nice little rebound. This morning was sitting at 60K, and we've been seeing a little bit of volatility. So from 60,000 early this morning, above 61, briefly touched 62 for a sec. And I do think that this 60K, sub 60K is behind us. Now, there has been a lot of movement in the altcoin space as well. Tons of volatility. So if you've been over here trading alts or looking to pick up some alts, well, the meme coins are leading the way. And also Stacks, which has been a proxy or a more of a leverage position on Bitcoin historically until as of lately. We've been seeing a sell-off on Stacks versus BTC, but the altcoins are the ones that we're paying the most attention to when it comes to the bounce backs. Now, we've talked about it here several times. When we've seen these drawdowns in Bitcoin and the big sell-offs, the Bitcoin dropped at one point, it was down 8% on the 24 hours. So 8% drawdown on Bitcoin. And we saw 30% drops on altcoins. And this ain't nothing new. So for the last 6 months, every time Bitcoin pulls back, we've seen a major fall from the meme coins. And the ones that come back first are the meme coins. So, we've talked about it here. You see meme coins down 30%, and you know that Bitcoin might have just made a candle low. It's not going to hang out. I don't think it's going to hang out under 60K. And for that reason, when it drops down to 58,000, you start seeing these massive dumps on the price for meme coins. I think it's an obvious trade setup here. Enter in, pick up a meme coin at 40% off, down 40%, and wait it out 2-3 days. Well, in this case, 1 day, not even 12 hours, and boom, you're up 40% on the other end. And so maybe a good trading strategy here, or a good swing trade opportunity, would be, hey, Bitcoin pulls back. Let's take a look at the alts, or particularly the meme coins. Which ones are down the most? Dog with Hat, Pepe, Bonk, those are some big ones. Also, Brett as well, which is the Coinbase version. And then, all of these. Look, Dog would have up 23% on the day. Brett up 33% on the week. You got Pepe up 23% on the week. And so now, with that said, you take a look at the losers. Nothing down. It's, the altcoins are, I think, because we're going into this altcoin season, I think that the altcoins are the ones that people are interested in. And we're seeing that the rebound is everything outside of Bitcoin, right? And then you can take a look at the 7-day, a lot of interest with the AI tokens, SingularityNet and Fetch AI, which have the merger coming up. We're expecting that within the next few days. We had an initial date for the merge coming up on the 12th of this month. That has came and gone. It got delayed, the merge, and I think it's around the corner. Is there an arbitrage opportunity? I think that is why we're seeing interest in the token. And so maybe it's something to take a look at. And then if you look at what's down for the week, not much. You have this layer 0 here, which, we don't know too much about, or at least I don't personally. And then some of the ones that are down the most, look at this. Bitcoin is down 5%. This is leading the way. If you take away the top 80, these 3 projects here, which are outside the top 80, Bitcoin is leading the way on what's down the most for the week. So altcoins performing pretty well against Bitcoin as of right now, which I think is a strong indicator of where we're at in the bull market. I want to ask you, Rocco, what is your immediate takeaway with price action? We saw Bitcoin go from 60, well, technically just about 30 hours ago, we went from 64,000 down to 58,000. And, that's a plus or minus on $6,000.
So the action on the Bitcoin going up and down like this, if you are a seasonal trader, you see this before. It's not the first time. It's, if you've been around a little longer, that's what Bitcoin does. And of course, Bitcoin goes down or up, everything moves at the same time. Now, for opportunity, for, like you were saying earlier, trade meme coin and then waiting, buy and resell so fast like that, I will. If you are in and you're just getting started, I will just stick with the main project like Bitcoin if you want to start to accumulate little by little. And then after a couple of cycles, do you understand how things move around? And then I will go ahead and, trade, buy meme coins and leverage if you really are prepared. Because there are opportunity there. But I think if you're coming from a legacy system like stock market, where you see 10%, if you're lucky, in crypto moves fast. So you got to take, the profit and be happy for what you make. I know people want to make the 100x in a month, in a day. It doesn't, it's happening, but, you may want to, unless you have unlimited resource, I don't know. But I think so you should be happy for the money you can make. And Bitcoin moving like that, I don't think this is that. It's not scary.
It's natural movements in the market, especially in the bullish trend that we're in. Yeah. Obviously, we're in a bull market or the opening stages of it. A year ago, we were at $20,000, sub $20,000 Bitcoin. Now we we briefly crossed 70,000. We trade above 60,000, which is a 3x away from where we were just a year ago. And so for me, the markets can't move up and to the right for Efinity. You do got to get some pullbacks, which I did want to start off by pulling up a couple things in regards to Bitcoin and its price movement. You have this by Vivek here. What if Bitcoin and eyeball? This is interesting. I think that this is, showing you that this support on 60K has been here for since March, so for about the last 3 months. And we know that when Bitcoin has consolidated for about a 3-month range in this last year and a half, the big moves from 20K to 30K, 30K to 40, 40 to 60, these moves have, for the most part, consolidated for about 3 months. So we're at that same time window, trading sideways. We're expecting a big breakout. Also, we had some buyers as well. Well, one buyer that we hadn't seen in a while was Mr. 100. So Mr. 100 buys a dip. His last buy was on May 19th. So he's had a little time off, particularly a little bit over a month. And you can see that he bought 113 Bitcoin here. I'll zoom in on this chart here. Interesting though, okay, so you'll see all of his buys. They're all green here, right? Got the name Mr. 100 because he buys 100, 100, 100, 100. This transaction here, he bought 200. But either way, and you can see his average price on these, average price here on the right. And so what I wanted to point out was he was here buying at sub 60,000, 61,000, 60,000. And then he sold here. This is his only sell. He sold 500 Bitcoin at $69,000. This man not only is a DCA expert, but pretty plugged into getting in and out of the market. And so thousands of Bitcoin acquired, but did sell when the market was a little heated. $69,000 Bitcoin, sold 500. Well, now that Bitcoin's down to 60,000, he bought the dip. So I think there's going to be a lot more buys to come. I did want to say that Bitcoin's is expanding as far as its reach with traditional finance. We got Morgan Stanley set to approve a Bitcoin ETFs on their wealth management platform for all of their clients by the end of August. So just around a month, anyone that has an account with Morgan Stanley can just simply say, hey, pick up the phone or chat with the Bot AI app on their phone, whatever it is. Pull up Morgan Stanley, say, hey, I want Bitcoin, and now you can pick up the ETF yourself through your wealth management advisor, which would be Morgan Stanley. That they manage over $1.5 trillion in assets, and they're one of the go-to wealth management services. So if you are a wealthy individual, if you are high net worth and you have a financial advisor, this is probably one of the companies that you're probably using. There's only a few of these. So the others like BlackRock and Fidelity. Fidelity's a big competitor, but they also focus on more of a broader Morgan Stanley, more in investments and retirement and wealth management. And so they threw their hat in the ring. But this is only the institutional level. So I wanted to get into nation states. And so we're seeing a shift here in the United States, particularly in South America. We're seeing a big shift on the outlook for Bitcoin. And so I wanted to start it off. We got Justin, Latin American bank, digital bank, Nubank. A lot of banks there. Now, is integrating Bitcoin Lightning Network for its 100 million users. So Nubank, this is the one down in Brazil, has a ton of users and 100 million users to be exact. And they're offering not only Bitcoin and the ability to purchase Bitcoin, but now you can transact. And so you can say, hey, you know what? I have a bank account. Now, I think that the magnitude of this is underreported because I've seen a few articles, but nobody's really talking about what it truly means. And so, yes, in Brazil, you can open up a bank account, you can pick up some Bitcoin. That's pretty big, right? But now you can say, hey, you know what? I want to use a Lightning Network. I want to pay with Bitcoin. Instead of purchasing Bitcoin, I want to deposit my paycheck into the bank account, get Bitcoin, and not leave that ecosystem and go to the grocery store, use it. Now, obviously, the retailers need to accept Bitcoin. So, how much adoption or how much utility can you use the Lightning Network? You have to find participants that offer that. But, for the most part, I think this is a step in the right direction. I know you have some ties to South America, particularly Venezuela, but we'll throw Brazil in the mix. What do you think? What do you think about this news? And
it's a great news. Integration like that is the future. Also, imagine if you can, in a place like Venezuela, where the economy, the inflation is hyperinflation, and everything is super expensive. Now you're able to get some money deposited in your account and be able to go to the grocery store, and also avoid those 2-3 currency, because in Venezuela it's not only you run things, you pay in Bolivar, which is the official currency, which is pretty much worthless. But there is also the second market of the dollar. There are actually two markets of the dollar. The regular price of the dollar that we have here, and then there is the dollar, the unofficial underground dollar money that you have to run to go buy, let's say, half a pound of chicken, because that costs like $20. That's Bitcoin will resolve something like that. If you be able to have your money, whatever is your salary, deposited, and then you have a fixed amount to use your Bitcoin, you will avoid all the black market. We're talking about the Bitcoin be always the witch hunting problem. But in this case, actually, we've solved a lot of criminality and other backdoors that they can be definitely.
Also, what I think is anything outside of purchasing goods, any long-term financial needs when it comes to high inflation kind of goes out the window, right? You can't finance a car. Nobody's gonna give you a 4-year loan when inflation is skyrocketing at a rate of 200% a year, right? Nobody's gonna settle in on a contract for a house, a car, a student loan. You can't take into account inflation realistically when making these deals. So all of that goes out the window. So you can't save in your own currency. And so what I think this does is operating, not only holding Bitcoin, but being able to transact and use this in a day-to-day means as your form of payment, I think circumvents the idea that you have to spend the money that you have before it inflates to death. And so I think that we're seeing a big shift in South America, particularly in El Salvador, Brazil. Speaking of El Salvador, just a reminder here, El Salvador, they're reminding you that they're buying Bitcoin every day.
Yeah, one Bitcoin a day. Yeah, that's what they do.
A while ago, they came out saying they're purchasing one Bitcoin every single day, and also they do chunk buys. They still buy when Bitcoin dips. And I know Nayib Bukele, the president there, loves to come out vocally when Bitcoin's price drops and say, we bought the dip. Well, their BTC holdings is now at 5,700 for $353 million. And, they're starting to seem like the smartest country in the room when it comes to South America. But one country that might not seem like they're the smartest.
I know exactly where you're going. I was about to say that.
Germany. so
what the hell are they doing? I don't understand it.
So just like retail, right? Just like me and you, just like having a group of people hanging around the water cooler or at work, you got one guy that's going all in on Bitcoin. You got the other person. He's a hater. He's like, this thing is trash. It's a scam.
Get rid of it.
And so El Salvador, they have the conviction, and Germany, they have the suspicion. And so they have now transferred 900 Bitcoin to Kraken and Coinbase, sparking selling concerns. And so, what does this all mean? I just think that it's posturing by nations until we finally kind of settle in on the general consensus that, Bitcoin's better than fiat. And eventually you're going to come around. And it's funny that the
They're
countries
they're gonna regret
the
that.
countries that have the weakest currencies, the ones that are having the most economical difficulties when it comes to their own fiat in their fiat system, and particularly the ones that are dependent on the dollar, are the ones that are saying, you know what, this system seems a lot better. And I think that the larger countries that have an established fiat system, they're very hesitant to adopt. Now, I did want to just bring up one more thing here on Bitcoin, and it's, well, the fear and greed index. So, we are at the lowest we've been in 18 months, which historically, when you see the fear and greed index get to an extreme, right? Extreme fear or even an extreme greed, we've seen that the market tends to move in the opposite direction. So now we're in the fear, but this is in the opening stages of a bull market. So I do think that this is steering us into, a reversal. And so extreme, we're in fear, down to 30. This is the lowest it's been in a year and a half. And, I think that this is going to be a reversal here. We do have Magic Internet Money here on deck. We're going to bring him on. And so if you tune in with us regularly throughout the week, you know that Magic joins us every Tuesday. And so without any further delays, we're going to bring our man on here. And so, Magic, what is going on, brother? Yo, I think you're muted over there. You're muted over there, Magic. There we go.
I muted myself after last week. I was like, you never know. Because I think I was talking, but I was just complimenting Rocco. I don't think I see him too often from behind the scenes without a hat on, man.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
You look sharp, man. You look good.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Button.
Thank you.
But yeah, Bitcoin this week's been interesting. But, it's kind of like you said, we come on here every Tuesday and we've been talking about these prices, particularly like the 5960K region. And that I don't think people should be afraid to bid this area. So I do think that this is a value area for a trader, and it could turn into more of a swing position as well. So we're in the same mindset there. And the fear and greed, as you pointed out, I don't follow it, but it used to be very, very popular and relevant, like in the 2018, 19, 2020 era. And it can be quite useful. You don't want to always just buy because people are scared, but it can be a very good indicator of the market. And it seems like since we've come up here, I don't know, you probably agree with this, but since we've come up here, the swings of emotions for people has been really, really big this time around. A lot of people thinking the market's over just because we're at all-time highs ranging. So what I
like to see is the fear and greed index go against the part of the part of the cycle of the market we're in, right? And so if you'd have looked at the fear and greed index, which, we've always kind of took a peek at it here and there, but during the bear market, you would expect the fear and greed index to be, low, right? You'd be in fear and extreme fear. Yep. And it was when that flipped was when that was an indicator of the movement in the market or an outlier, right? And so when we're in the middle of a bear market and all of a sudden you get into greed or extreme greed, and that you're only 6 months into the bear market, this is probably going to be an opportunity to either short the market because that this greed is only going to be sustained for so long, or these elevated prices are only there for so long. Maybe this is a good time to sell in the short term. And then at the same time, I'm looking at this. We're going into the meat and potatoes of the bull market. We're just getting into it. And so we would expect there to be more of a greed sentiment coming out. So when we get these fear markers, I think it's a great example of, hey, the market right now is in fear, but let's zoom out. Let's think about where we're at in the market. And, well, it's probably a damn good time to buy, at least compared to where we think the prices are going to be. One big signal that I did want to, I know we're going to take a look at here are some charts. Of course, we're going to lead off with Bitcoin, but I wanted to share the RSI, right? And yesterday we discussed it. RSI, pretty good indicator on, where is the market? So RSI is almost the metric of fear and greed on a chart for the most part, shows the sentiment of the market as far as how oversold or overbought the market is. So this is bullish signals led to at least a 60% jump the last 3 times we've seen the RSI jump this high. So here on this chart here, on the bottom in purple is the RSI. You can see back in November 2022, we went from 16,000, which we ended up peaking out at 22. Once again, RSI dropped down in March at 22, and then we ended up seeing that go as high as 30,000. Once again here, this was the big move from 24,000 with the RSI where it is. And that was at sub $25,000 Bitcoin. And from there, it didn't stop until it hit 70K. And so we're here again. The RSI is here again. I would love to take a look at some Bitcoin charts or get your perspective on the RSI. Is this a measure that you're looking at or you're putting any heavy weight into? And what's going on with Bitcoin? Are we going to see sub 60K? And what's your outlook here on the short to long term?
Yeah. Ideally, I'm hoping that we remain range bound, but the RSI can be very, very useful. I do like to use it. I don't use it quite the same way as some people. I scalp with it a little bit here and there. Like the 5 minute, I'll use 46 as a level and just trade off of it. It's usually pretty well respected on most time frames. But yeah, you're pretty oversold here. Obviously, you can go back historically and be like, okay, anytime we're down this low, it's generally bounce zone. You don't want to fall in love with that idea because it can always come down here and spend some time. So when people start adding leverage into the market, like right here, very oversold, but sideways for a while. And essentially what you're doing here is building up positions. You'll build up both longs and shorts. And what you want to do in the RSI in this instance is you've come down, you've finally set in that bottom that you've been looking for potentially in the lower band. Oops, if I can get my mouse to work here, right here. But you'll notice you start forming like a bullish divergence locally to kind of like confirm your higher time frame conviction. You'll see that you have higher lows on the RSI and that you've now, if you go off the closures, which you're supposed to, you can see that you've got lower lows. So you have classic bullish divergence off of a very oversold, meaningful time frame at key support. I believe that was like the 24K area. So that would be kind of your go-to, and you'd say, okay, I'm wrong if this, we lose this low. So you've got like a place you can start putting your stop loss and start looking for entries. And then from there, you can do things as simple as I'm not going to start selling until, it's oversold. But again, if you fall in love with oversold and, undersold, however you want to put it, where it's just beat down, you can live up above and below these areas for quite some time. Now, when the trend is as heavy as it is to the upside, that's where you want to say, okay, we're going to be living up above, this like 70 for a while. So I don't want to just be unloading just because we're up here, because you would have just started selling at 30K and this thing, it continued to rip all the way into like 49, so you'd have missed a good chunk of that move. So it's still important to kind of have, some other things that you're looking at, targets, or at least an exit strategy. So the RSI is very useful. It can be. Some people trade exclusively with it. Momentum traders is what we call them. I'm more of a horizontal level to level guy. I like to look at volume a little more. I will tell you, we've been kind of saying we're going to continue this bleed down because we just haven't seen anything in the order flow. And we basically had pulled up these levels that we started giving to this audience specifically at the beginning of the year. These are levels that are comprised of last year's volume weighted average. And then instead of having it be dynamic where it changes like it normally would, we've just made it into a horizontal level and standardized deviations so that we can project where the market's going to end up. And so this is for 2024. These are good for another 6 months. And we've come down from if you recall, we were looking right around 65K was a big area because we had that weekly SFP, I believe, was right here. We were looking at this level matched up with our deviation. Our next deviation is down here, right at like a local area of, we'll call it demand, the lows. So what a lot of people are going to be hoping for, and this would look a lot like 2020, best case scenario would be something like this. I know everybody's going to start drawing it, but you get that really, you're going to start, I know it's been boring, but it can get even more boring if it starts doing this. And that would be very reminiscent of the last cycle. So there's really no reason to panic yet. Now, are we at really big resistance? Are things looking like they could go lower? Of course, they always kind of look that way. They always look bad before they get good. Nobody wants to admit it, but they always look worse before they get better. And it's a cliche saying, but it's very, very true in trading. And you can see that right here. It just absolutely bored everyone to death after the halving. And this was a brutal range. Like, I mean, these candles are not that big. And so once the breakout came, really good move, but it took over 120 days to do that at that resistance. It's just, instead of being at the gold pocket, we're at all-time highs. So it's a little different now. So in an ideal world, you want to see that same type of thing going on here. Bore them out of the market, watch positions build up on both sides, build up that open interest. And then when there's a large break, one side is going to get punished, of course, and they're going to become fuel for that break. So
I see you got the channels. I see you got the channels there, and I'm assuming that the bottom line of the channel is probably 60K. I'm assuming, right? How strong of a level is that? Do you think that that's something you expect to hold, or do you think that's something that we could lose? Or how do you typically look at that?
So it's 59,125, and it doesn't really hold any weight when you look at it this way, other than just go, oh, it looks like really good support. But if you were to zoom out a little bit to, like, say, the monthly, right? And I know this got a lot of stuff on it, so we'll get rid of some of these things here as we talk. But this is your monthly setup, okay? So you can see this is our monthly candle. It's not a great looking candle, but we've had kind of some offsetting, back and forth up here because we're range bound. So realistically, that $59,000 level, which comes in right about, we'll put a line on the chart, right about here, 59, yeah, pretty close. So yeah, if we lose this level, on like a material closing basis, a monthly or quarterly basis, you can see how this starts to look not good. So it is a very important level, 59. And if it is lost, I am kind of just looking all the way back down to like 48, 46.
Stop it.
Yeah, but that's the thing. We're not doing that right now. So for now, this is a big support. And to me, if you are looking for risk on positions, I've been saying I'm not buying this dip. I'll trade it. But now I'm at this level where we talked about, I wouldn't be afraid to bid this because this is maximum risk reward in this range. So you have to look at it through the lens of risk on if you're trading. And this is the place with the highest reward potential and the lowest amount of risk potential. So this is the area you want to be bidding at. Someone actually commented on my Twitter when I posted the level as we were coming into it. It's like, these levels are good. This is the level. And I had a box on there for people to look at. That way they could say, okay, this is the support we're waiting for. Someone asked me, where's a good place to short? Well, it's certainly not down here, I will tell you that's what kind of took place coming into today even. And, the market is funny like that. So Exo charts here is just looking at some of the order flow data. And to put things in perspective, we'll get rid of the VWAP, even though it is kind of important that we're coming into that. This is cumulative volume delta. It's just being shown as a line rather than, reading it down here on the footprint bar statistics. Okay. So what you'll notice is that you can see you have lower lows on this, meaning that people are selling quite heavily. But what you will see here is that price is making higher lows, meaning that someone is sat there absorbing these market sellers, people that are trying to push the sell button at the bottom of a range. Someone is absorbing those sells with limit orders and pushing the price higher, essentially squeezing these guys out.
It's El Salvador.
That is
El Salvador, Germany.
It's El Salvador. It doesn't matter who, but you can even see right here where if you go, well, I wouldn't know how to trade that. Can I just trade the divergence? Well, you can start going in and saying, okay, I want to have imbalances show up and be highlighted by imbalances in this case. So in this candle, which is a 5 million volume candle, so it's not based on time, it's based on volume. You can see that these are all the buying imbalances versus selling. And you can set the percentage to whatever you want. And so I can see that strength is entering the market, and that we have declining open interest, meaning that all these guys that are selling right here are being punished. And so they're being forced out of the market. And that's essentially what you're watching. So it's a true to form, like mini short squeeze. Now, do I expect that to last? Probably not going to just V reversal out of here. May put in some time down here. But the moment we click back above 65, right around this area, that's where I think things start to really shape up. And you go, maybe that triangle is going to play out. If you're just a classical TA guy like I am, and you just like lines on a chart, it's very simple. This is our weekly SFP locally here. We had one here, and you can see that until we broke it, we didn't get that low. Well, it was a good level for a long time. Now we've got this one. You can see that we've come down here and tested it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now a 6th time. So you really want to see the weekly candle kind of continue to close above this level, especially going into the monthly close, and getting back above specifically that like 65K mid-range area. I'm assuming it would probably be somewhere near the point of control. It just kind of depends on how volume's been shaping up. Actually, it's basically near the value area low. So it gets you back in the range and then puts you to like that 67K region. So realistically, if you can live above 65 though, even if you get like a small rejection here, you want to see this level stay support, you can make that push back to the highs of the range. But as a trader, I'll tell you guys, I will be looking to take at least secure some profits from this area, because you have to kind of do what's best for you. And I think Rocco was touching on it earlier, where he's saying, you have to take advantage of when you're making money in this market. You don't have to sell everything, but sometimes, it's good to pay yourself and make sure that you are being rewarded, because round tripping positions is not fun. And a lot of people do it, unfortunately, especially with altcoins being the way they are right now. I know a lot of people have been holding them for a long time, waiting for that break, and it just hasn't really come yet.
I mean, even the smartest people out there, I mean, we were looking at Mr. 100, somebody that just routinely has DCA'd, bought 100 Bitcoin at a time, had a 500 Bitcoin sell order at 69,000 and has entered back into the market and buying again. So, I think that, realistically, we have this DCA mentality, which if you're layering in for your retirement, then that is what it is. But if you're looking to get in and out of the market, just simply getting in or only buying during a bull market, you got to try to take some profit off the table, identify when the market is oversold or overbought, and make a move on it. Take some cash off the table, and then be a savvy trader and watch people like Magic and Sin City Crypto, and kind of get a feel for the direction of the market. I know I just get ultra bullish all the time, especially during the bull market. So, I mean, for me, you got to bring in somebody that can bring up the charts and talk some sense out of you sometimes. Cause sometimes I'm like,
it's funny that you say that though, cause I'm a huge Bitcoin bull. People don't realize a lot of my net worth is in Bitcoin, and it has been for a very long time. I hold a lot of Bitcoin, and I don't have plans to sell it. What I trade with is what I trade with, but realistically, the long-term picture is I believe in Bitcoin, and until the chart or the fundamentals change for me, it's going to be a very high conviction.
Yeah, I see Bitcoin getting to 70. I see Bitcoin get to 70,000. I'm like, here we go, 80. Here we go. So it's all about time horizon. I know that it will get to 80,000. Probably more in the short term. I think that we do break 80,000 this year. Perhaps even 100,000. I don't know if we get to quite 100,000 by the end of the year, but I do think 80, 90,000 is in the cards. We're in election year, which, we actually got some things to discuss there as well. But I did want to thank you again, Magic, for joining us. It's always a pleasure having you here. And so, I was worried that you were going to give me this doom and gloom scenario, and you actually put you put a binky in my mouth, bro. You made me feel a lot better, man. I'm feeling good, man.
Able to sleep.
Yes,
there's no point in not being a little neutral here.
Yeah,
you're at support, right? You're at big support. Do what you do.
All right. So thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
All right. Thank you. All right. So I got to shift the conversation to Solana. So much going on Solana. First of all, price on the 30 days here, not so hot, right? But you can look, Bitcoin's also down. Bitcoin's trending down, so it's expected. But it is underperformed against Bitcoin as of lately. But I think that sentiment is going to change. And why is that? Let's start with USDC. This is the stablecoin issued by Circle. And well, here is the USDC settlement times by Blockchain Network. You can see Algorand, 4 seconds for finality. You have 280 milliseconds on Arbitrum, which is a layer 2 scaling solution on Ethereum. Avalanche, 2 Ethereum, 3 minutes. You got Flow. Oh, there it is. There's Solana here at under half a second when it comes to transaction time. And well, transaction time might not be that important when it comes to sending funds from one wallet to another. But when you're transacting with stablecoins, when you're actually just buying stuff, you need this to settle quickly, right? And stablecoins, we always assume that at some point we're going to buy and sell stuff through through blockchain, right? We always talk about like, hey, at some point you're going to tap your phone. That's going to be done as stablecoin. Let's be realistic here, right? You're not going to go up and be like, how much is this priced in Cardano? How much ADA tokens is this bagel going to cost me? Or how much Bitcoin? How much these shoes cost 0.004 Bitcoin? Like, no, you're going to be transacting in stable coins. It's the medium of exchange. It's very useful as a means of account, right? Of accounting to say, hey, look, this is what it costs. And then you just pull up your wallet, send 500 stable coin, but you want to tap and you need these to settle quickly, right? Because if you're going to be transacting, you're talking about tens of thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands, or eventually millions of transactions per second. And this is what we're seeing out of Visa. And this is why Visa has partnered with Solana. And so I do think that this is an indictment. And even with Arbitrum that we saw there, Arbitrum was at 280 milliseconds. This is a layer 2. This is Ethereum's base layer, 3 minutes. And so you're doing natively on chain sub 1 second. So pretty bullish. And then to move on, you also have Coliseum. So Coliseum has closed $60 million fund supporting founders building on Cardano, or my apologies, on Solana. We just did a Cardano video today. That's why I got Cardano on the brain. But so $60 million fund for Solana and its ecosystem. And so a lot of building going on there, but not all good news here. So president of Jump Crypto steps down. Who is Jump Crypto? Well, if you remember, a few months ago, we had, or a couple years ago, we had Jump Crypto had this wormhole bridge hack. And so Jump Crypto was, well, the company behind it. And well, someone had fraudulently minted 120,000 wrapped Ethereum, which this was big headlines at the time. And they're also getting investigated by the CFTC. So you have the founder stepping down. You had the wormhole hack, and you got a CFTC investigation. Now, we don't exactly know what the investigation entails as far as the details of here, but the probe may encompass trading activities raised in an investor lawsuit cited as part of the SEC's case against Terraform Labs. So the Terra Luna fiasco, the SEC's looking into it. They had mentioned Jump Crypto in their lawsuit. And, this is also actively being investigated by the CFTC. And so you have the founder step down. But I did want to say that Jump Crypto, is also the company that's behind the Fire Dancer upgrade, right? So, what does this mean? Could this cause a ripple or disturbance in the Solana ecosystem? You have, on one side, you got the now uptime of Solana. It's been working pretty well. It's extremely fast. You got partnerships with Visa. The stable coins are working. And then, you also got, a little troubled history, as we mentioned. But one last thing I did want to bring up. So Solana Foundation launches new developer tools. This went live today. So pretty bullish here on this, or bullish news. If you're a fan of Solana and functionality, it's getting upgraded. So they launched actions and blockchain links. They've deemed this as blinks, right? And they also say blinks because, well, it's pretty fast. And, obviously blinking is quick. But anyways, 2 tools allowing developers to integrate blockchain activities into websites, social media, and physical QR codes. So what they're doing is they're integrating their wallet functionality into a link. And you throw that damn link anywhere, right? On X, on a website, on a name the social media platform. Yeah. You just throw a link in there, and now all of a sudden you got a native wallet that's operating right there in real time. And that's without having to open up another wallet and do it. Very seamless. And we'll give you a little demonstration of that as well. And so the action will allow users to perform Web3 native transactions. Once again, native. This is not something built on top of Solana. This is Solana. And this also not only just transacting, not only just sending money, but you have NFTs, voting, staking, and, well, sending tips to content creators like ourselves. But, the Blinks enable developers to format any action into a shareable link, turning websites and social media into a straightforward entry point for blockchains. And so we're going to get our opinion here in a second, but I did want to show some videos here. And so this here is the Solana handle. It said, today we connect Solana to the internet, the whole damn thing. And so vote, donate, mint, swap, play, use Solana everywhere. So here's an example. I don't know if that's copyrighted, but here we go. Blinks. Now you can link directly to on-chain transactions. So you have someone here write me they use AI to write this. Boom. Confirm transaction. Donate to Alice. There it is. So yeah, it's just a hyperlink, and you just paste it, and then these social media platforms can, have a thumbnail or graphic on top. This one's interesting. Vote yes. So you can have, to expand here, is that you can have, say Solana wants to have a voting proposition. How do you typically find a community-led vote, right? You got to go to the website. You got to go to community forum. You got to see somebody's post, follow a bunch of links. Solana's handle, as an example, can simply post a link and say, hey, this is our newest upgrade proposal. Vote on it. You got a Solana wallet, boom, you can just vote right there. Just like that, right? If you have staking, you don't have to worry about going into your wallet. You can stake right there on the social media network. Now, I'm sure it's going to also open up some points of vulnerability for people, clicking on the wrong link. So, we'll see how secure this is, but at its first glance, seems like a pretty cool technology that at least I'm getting behind. Now, one last demo here. So you have not only Solana advertising this, but this is actually live already on Jupiter's exchange. So here, Jupiter has swap and copy paste any URL on Twitter, and readers can swap without closing Twitter. So basically, you get in and out of your trades through Twitter using Jupiter Exchange without even pulling up your wallet, right? And so here's an example. And so I go. So approve the transaction, executing, and that's it. Done. Buy some more, buy $10. You just approved it with your wallet. Boom. And so pretty simple, man. Pretty damn simple. And, you can do this with, just get in and out of all your trades. You can tip creators as well. So I want to get your reaction. I know I don't hear you talk too much about Solana. Obviously it ain't going nowhere. If it does, it's going to be a slow, long death, way down the line, but Solana's here to stay in the short term. Tons of developers, tons of interest. It's in the, climbing the ranks in the top 10 and in the top 5. Went from $10 to $140 just in the last year. Rocco, what do you think about Solana?
I love it. I think so. I wasn't too happy a few years back in the past cycle, but right now you can see this technology is going to set a milestone for the other project to follow. I mean, you want to catch up. Other company, other project, they really need to step up. And if you want to keep a little bit of the market, Solana, this is amazing. And imagine now you integrate it, you have your phone, Solana phone, and you can do all this transaction. But let's fast forward 10 years in advance in the future where you can maybe vote for your leader, or maybe it's even not just for Twitter or sending links. It's actually voting for an official election. I mean, that's the technology that is behind this project.
You brought a couple good points.
And another
there.
things I want to just go back to how fast it is.
Mhm.
It's imagine, for us, okay, you send me a $10 with a stable coin. I can wait even a few minutes. But let's say you are Walmart. You have many locations all around the world. And you need to have your account for every single person that goes back, settled in real time. You know exactly the liquidity and the money that you have in your bag. So you have this much amount. You don't have to wait 2-3 days to say, okay, now we're gonna settle that.
And the fees as well.
And the fees. So that's gonna kill the fees. So I think that there is a major I can find the word, the app.
And you also had yesterday we discussed also they had the ZK compression. So a lot of buildings. So we got $600 million for developers, new fund that just got approved. You have earlier this week, a few days ago, the ZK compression. You also have now these blinks where we're seamlessly integrating any link. Basically, social media is where it's at here on this one, and the ease of use is there. And so, you hit a couple cool points there. Or some good thoughts is that other blockchains are gonna take notice, right? And you see Bitcoin came up, and then there was a bunch of people like, oh, that's a great idea. Let's expand on it, right? Let's take what big, and then Ethereum came out, and someone else was like, hey, let's do the smart contract thing. And then next thing you know, this next blockchain comes out, and they're all kind of mimicking each other and copying each other. That's just the growth of technology. That's what is expected in our sector. And soon I would expect someone else to have these type of ease of use points where you bring up a link, social media. And also, I really like the fact that you pulled up the Solana phone. It makes so much sense. I mean, just think about this. Instead of having to have your wallet connected to, say, your computer, and then having it because I'm sure you have to log into your wallet to use this on social media, right? You got to at least, get through the password there. But if you got a Solana phone and your wallet is already built natively on there, you can just hit approve. Yes, it's going to be one less step, one less friction point when it comes to adoption. So I think this is pretty bullish. I don't know why this hasn't been covered more. I've seen the social media handles from Solana really talking about it, Jupiter, but I haven't seen the community really be that excited about it. So here at Sin City Crypto, we are pretty bullish on this. Did want to say, we discussed it. The man, the purple hair legend himself.
And Jupiter is up 10%.
Is Jupiter up? So the purple hair legend, orange hair legend. So Donald Trump, he's supposedly going to be at Bitcoin Nashville. So up until now, Bitcoin has been Bitcoin Miami. This year, it's moved to Nashville, Tennessee. And so next month, or in August, we're seeing some big headline names there. We've seen RFK at last year's Bitcoin Miami. And this year, will we see Donald Trump? One of Donald Trump's advisors, somebody that he's been talking to when it comes to his crypto position on his campaign, is David Bailey. And David Bailey, so his advisor, he's also the organizer for the event. So this CEO of the Bitcoin Magazine.
Cool. Hey, buddy, want to come to the conference and just put it on? There's 8,000 of people. I don't think there's
I was debating on going. I think I might have to go now, man. If Donald Trump's going to be there, I'm going to have to make an appearance just because the sheer media that's going to be there. The attendance, if Donald Trump is there, the attendance for that damn thing is going to be twofold. Easily 2x what it was last year. It's gonna
be mad.
So I know Consensus, the convention that we were at last month, they had 15,000 attendees. If you had comparable numbers for Bitcoin, say 12 to 15,000, I think that Donald Trump showing up will immediately bump that up to plus 20,000, maybe even 30,000 people show up. We've seen the rallies that Donald Trump has had, and his rallies, they're filling up arenas, and these tens of thousands, even numbers throwing out there like 50, 60,000 people showing up to the Trump rallies.
Is it a 50-50 chance to appear, or what do you think?
I think he shows up, man.
I think so.
I genuinely think he shows up.
If you think about it, for him, is a media stunt. Plus, he has pretty much a friend, buddy, a co-worker that is running the scene. I won't be surprised that it shows up. I think there is a very, very good chance.
Yeah.
Especially because crypto now is going to be part of the debate. Now we're going to see this week, see what happens. If crypto is going to be part of someone, is going to come up with some of the questions, something like that, it definitely, I think, 95% is going to show up.
It's a good opportunity to get a bunch of, because here's the thing, you hold a Trump rally, you already know they're all voting Trump, right?
Yeah.
You're not going to go to the Trump rally if you're voting Biden. Like, let's just be real. But you could be an undecided voter, or you could be in the camp for Joe Biden or whatever it is. And, well, you're like, damn it, Trump, why are you here? And wow, you make a lot of sense.
It's going to make a Bitcoin in America right there in front of everybody.
Yes.
It's going to handmade Bitcoin right there.
Stamp that logo there as well. So
right here. Freshly made.
All right. I did want to give a big channel sponsor shout out to Legacy Network. And so if you've been watching our show, you know this is one of our tenured sponsors. They do have a beautiful app coming out. We've been playing around with it. Personal wellness, finance, and a very fun to use or easy to use, fun AI interface. Handled all in app. They do have a native token as well. So we're pretty excited on Legacy Network. Go check them out. Link in the description for that sponsor. And we're excited to play around with their new app. We've been playing around with it ourselves, and I think you're gonna like it. Go check it out. With that said, I think we're gonna wrap this thing up. How's the producer team doing back there? What's going on? Hey, you having fun back there?
Hey y'all, so much fun. How are you doing?
Oh, we're doing great.
Yeah,
we're doing absolutely great. So we're gonna roll the credits now. So we want to thank everybody here for joining us today. I know that some of you kind of tuned in because the markets are down, but a natural pullback. Don't freak out. Great buying opportunity. All coins are on sale. Go pick some up. We do got Cardano video coming out soon. Yeah. Check that out. That's one of our favorite projects, and that one's on sale as well. Not to mention, we've got a big surge in the Caspa community. Another one of our big projects. Another one that I think is deeply discounted. So if you're a Caspa fan, now might be the time to layer in some buys as well. So any parting words there, Rocco?
No, I just want to say thank you to everybody, to the comment and beautiful words. And happy to be here. Hey, guys, if you want to have an idea where we're going in the future, definitely you got to tune in and Sin City Crypto every day and come and check us all the time and check our videos.
All right. Well, that's it. Let's wrap it up. No finger tornado, but we're just going to say farewell and throw a peace sign up.
Okay. Ciao. Ciao a tutti.
Sin City Crypto. Cassius Cuvée. Yeah. Sin City Crypto. Everybody know we here for entertainment and info. Gonna show you how to get that big dough. So every day stay tapped in for big facts, no capping. With Bitcoin, if you're in, then you win. We divide the pie with no fraction. It's Big Rob, David. I split the game, but they gave it. Name the coin that's your favorite. I got dry powder, why save it? To the OGs, new beginners. Special shout out to the well members. Buy dip, sell winners. Ain't really nothing you can tell sinners. Tune in for the latest new flavors. They gonna teach us mean coins. They polarizing like barbecue chicken pizzas. I laugh with a major grin. Laggers, we trade them in. Baddies, they came to sin. And sinners gon' play to win. Screaming, hola, till my bags are flowing over. Hold ya to the moon and to the solar. Won't I? Don't be letting FOMO control ya. It's over when the finger tornado close ya.